7:41 in Trinidad and Tobago. Just closing out the Lord related there as he was about to go again into another series of issues with food prices from what, almost 40 years ago now. But now in 2022, increased feed and operating costs for farmers and companies are leading to higher costs for chicken and eggs for consumers. There's said to be a series of adjustments in the marketplace and incremental costs for hatching eggs, grains, packaging materials, fuel. The hike in prices to consumers are a reflection of those costs. And today we're chatting with the former president of the Farmers Union, Shiraz, to hear more about the impact of this on farmers and consumers. Shiraz, Assalamu alaikum. Thanks very much for joining us this morning.
Walaikum assalam, Fazeer. Thanks for having me, and thanks to the producer for playing that song. You know, it gives us a reminder what reality is today. Because what happens is that you can't vex with the prices that you're facing in the market.
I suppose the concern would be, Shiraz, is this going to be a continuing trend, or is this just, because of the Ukraine situation and grain shortage and whatever else? But from your own experience, is it going to get higher and higher before it starts to maybe stabilize in any way?
It's going to continue to escalate, not only as long as the Ukraine-Russia war continue to go that way, but the global warming, I think, is the biggest concern we have right now, because what happened is that you've seen a lot of countries having a serious problems with global warming in terms of flooding and fires and all of that. I mean to say, it's going to continue, because what happened is that when we saw a couple of years ago the fire that took place in America and so on, and we said, they say, well, we are making trouble, we only complaining like to make bacchanal. But the reality now is that we're going to have to continue to face high prices, and the prices is not depicted by us as farmers, and then kind of thing is more like what the international market throwing at us. Now, if you could recall, in 2007, since 2007, with defining the solution with Patrick Manning in Tin City, we did make proposals of what we can use locally and reduce the cost of production. We have 3 or 4 farmers asking for 500 acres of land to plant corn in a large way that we could mechanize and make corn available to the feed millers and so on. You're hearing now Avinash saying that they're now going to do that. We made the proposal, those proposals from 2007. Every new minister come, we put it before them. We modernized it, and we put it before the post-COVID committee 3 years now. And what happened, Fazeer? We now hearing that they want to do other things. But if you see poultry price going up, when a poultry could only eat less than 1/6 to 1/7 of what a feed, of a pound of feed. In our cases, cattle will eat 4 and 5 pounds, and sheep and goat will eat 2 pounds to produce, the proper meat and milk and so on. So you're talking about the prices of sheep and goat and beef going to escalate. One, chicken is already going up, eggs has already gone up, and we have no solution coming in except from Mr. Avinash saying on Saturday that they're going to work on something, when we have proposals before them, Fazeer. And then in 2008, the then Patrick Manning administration had set up TABA and give them finances, and they had started making cassava flour, cassava chips and so on. And those are the equipment that we can use now to convert the waste of that into animal feed and so on. And that project has shut down since 2010 when the government changed. And in 2015, when the government further changed, it just never come on stream. So
Shiraz, if you would allow me just to come in there on that, because we note that, for example, as we mentioned, the grain shortage worldwide, because Ukraine is one of the main bread baskets of the world, that India, for example, has banned the exportation of wheat. They had previously banned the exportation of onions because they are mindful of the shortages that are being created. And as you mentioned, the global warming situation, which is a longer term consideration. But in response to your reference to cassava and local produce to create that type of flour, are we really able to do so in commercial quantities that would make it really a viable alternative?
Fazeer, of course, we have the ability. We have the human resource. We have the land. We could do that. Fazeer, we have put the proposal to the post-COVID committee that we were asking for 20,000 acres of land. That is a small thing in Trinidad and Tobago to find, right? We have farmers that is willing to expand their production.
Well,
And
let me
not
jump
only
in
that,
right. Let me jump in again right there, Shiraz, because you know the issue of going on with the Caroni lands for some 20 years now, and
yeah.
the allegation or the accusation by the authorities is that a lot of those plots, rather than being used for agriculture, are being used for other commercial purposes.
I cannot vex with you for saying that. I am not in control of solving that problem. In fact, we complained about those that was happening, but that when under the UNC, they put something into the budget and said that people will feel free to sell the land. We objected to that. I objected to that. But what I'm saying is that apart from the county land, we have PSCL lands, we have other state lands. You remember the government is in charge of 80% of the land in this country, which is state land,
No, but
which
the
is
reason
state
the
land.
reason I raised it, Shiraz, is not just to spend the rest of the time talking about that, but to say that if, for example, let's just say the government is desperate to win votes for this local government election, and they say, here what Shiraz can just say, let me give them 20,000 acres of land. How confident are you that those 20,000 acres will be used for agricultural purposes?
But Fazeer, it have resources of where we can monitor that. People once they get the land to plant. If you're giving somebody a piece of land to plant, then do the necessary by giving them the right document to go and do that. Because I will tell you something. There are people who are planting just 2 acres of land from what they have in Caroni Limited with cassava or sweet potato, and they're willing to get more land to plant they produce, right? So in fact, it have people from Tobago looking into Trinidad of getting more lands to plant to satisfy their making of flour, cassava flour in Tobago, right? We have the resources to do that for zero. I'm not only saying cassava, we have cassava, sweet potato, banana, dasheen, edos, all of these things, and it could go back into the system to eat in more provision because I heard a story last night on television. They used to be eating more provision, that's why they were winning more medals, right? We have the resources to do that. I'm telling you because I will tell you something. You don't have to go deep south. Just drive from here to San Fernando and you'll see the availability of lands that is available to do that production that we're talking about for zero. All it is that we might be giving too much small farmers too much of money in their pocket or too much of power because what happening is that if a farmer have 100 acres or 200 acres of land that he can plant, he will now see benefits in terms of financial rewards,
But
right? But what happening is that we can take those produce and convert it because Dr. Gary Prentice, may God bless him because he's undergoing a serious problem of health right now. And I hope that this project could get going before God ready for him.
no,
Because he
but
said he
Shiraz,
told me
the
recently
question
he's
is,
ready to meet his maker.
but Shiraz, the question is why? I mean, why do successive governments, not just this one, but the UN, the PA People Partnership before, why don't up to now? What do we have to starve for them to realize that
But people,
we need to sort out this thing with agriculture?
but the people starving already. People having problems. You look at the news on night, you see more people don't have food, nothing to eat. But if you go wrong and you see if you could collect $1 million from all the farmers in this country to finance a UNC or PNM campaign, I wish you luck. That's where the problem is. We cannot be financiers. We are only laborers in the soil to eke a living. We cannot be financiers. So that's one of the reasons. Look, all what's going on. You interview so much of people there, and they're talking about even from Mr. Hussein and all of them talking about agriculture has to be given priority. For 3 years now since this pandemic started, what has happened in the interest of agriculture in this country? What has changed anything for you to say, Shiraz, you're not talking sense because this, that, and the other happening? I saw recently that Guyana asking for 7,000 animals, not to give one of the hoity-toities or financiers, 7,000 sheep and goat to make available to the citizens of Guyana to start their production. So probably Guyana looking at making themselves the food basket of the Caribbean. They're asking right now. I have a text and an email from Guyanese here asking me to come, for them to come and see my animals. They need animals to buy.
Well, there's a business opportunity, Shiraz. Forget about Trinidad and Tobago and
some
see what
finances
your
and carry
business
the
in
animals
Guyana. But that might be the business opportunity if the Trinidad and Tobago government is not interested. Turn to the Guyanese government like the Prime Minister has done.
Well, you know, ADB problem with Ken is still going on, and Ken is Guyana. Ken looking to sell his equipment into Guyana because ADB have him in court and put him for recoveries and all of that. And he's up in Guyana. I said, try and set them up Guyana. Go up there and set it up and see if you could get better business because they might appreciate you over here than how they're treating us down here in Trinidad. You understand? The one thing that will assist what we saying, for somebody had to be making big money in importing soybean and all of these kind of things into this country because they don't want to listen to what we are saying. We are out here. We have people in the ministry who know what we are saying, but we're just not getting it done because the reality is that now that the global has hit the fan with all what taking place in the global situation, we haven't, Fazeer, you know we are paying almost 300% more in the last 2 years for Ponga feed. And hence the reason why chicken will continue to rise, hence the reason why eggs will continue to rise, and who's going to be able to afford that? Do you think the ordinary men and women who work in CPEP or surviving on a minimum wage could really benefit from some of those goods to stay healthy and strong in this place? You know? We have a problem in the country and we are not getting the kind of respect that we need to take the agriculture sector forward because what happens is that you look at the papers, you look at the Facebook, the amount of people are just selling out their animals because they can't make with it again. Some of them rather just sell their animals and go and buy a taxi. I know a guy sell out his animals and buy a reckon or the highway up and down every night. He say he rather do that because he can't make with the price of feed. Imagine molasses.
I understand.
When the Caribbean Limited closed in those days, we used to get a barrel of molasses for less than $100. Now we are paying almost $1,200, 11 something for a barrel of molasses. And that is the reality of the situation, Fazeer.
Shiraz Khan, we have to leave it there for the moment. Sorry to cut across you, but time is up again. But it's the usual lament, I'm sorry to say, but it's a very real lament, and it seems to be getting worse in Trinidad and Tobago at this time. Shiraz, we want to thank you very much once again for taking the time to be with us.
Thank you very much for having me, Fazeer, and you and your people do have a great day, and hopefully that somebody could listen to us now because it's really getting terrible.
I wish you all the best with that. Thanks very much for taking the time. 7:54
okay, my brother.
in Trinidad and Tobago. It's time for another break, and here we have an image. This one is from Betty Ramkisoon in Princestown. It's the cactus flower as we head to the break.
$6 for redfish, that is advantage. Some places is $5 they want for cabbage. Ripe fig 180, green fig 45. Poor people only